Hello, everyone. Today, I want to share a personal story. A close call with a very sophisticated scam that could have cost me not only money, but also my peace of mind. As counselors, therapists, and behavioral health professionals, we can be targets of these types of sophisticated scams. Right now, scammers are combing through online therapist directories, collecting your contact information to try and target you. I'm sharing my experience to help others avoid falling into the same trap. It was a typical busy day in my practice when I received a call on my practice phone line. The caller ID displayed National City Police, which immediately caught my attention. Normally, I let unknown calls go to voicemail, but seeing the word police made me pick up the phone. On the other end was a very articulate, confident voice with no noticeable accent. He introduced himself as a police officer from the National City Police Department, the same city displayed on the caller ID. He was clearly an American and very confident. He didn't hesitate or ever seem like he was unsure of any details. The supposed officer informed me that I had been subpoenaed to testify as an expert witness in a court case, but failed to appear. He claimed the judge was furious and had issued a bench warrant for my arrest. He had all the details to back up his story: the court name, judge's name, case name, and even the dates and names of officers who had allegedly tried to serve me at an old address. Since I had done expert witness testimony in the past and had a very busy practice, it didn't seem entirely impossible that I could have missed something. Could I have missed something this important? I certainly hope not. But let's face it, you never know. It could have happened. The conversation turned into a clever and terrifying scenario. The caller said, "Because of the good work I do as a counselor and the fact that I was an upstanding citizen, he wanted to help me avoid the embarrassment and hassle of being arrested. He suggested a solution. I could pay my bail over the phone and simply appear at the next court hearing where the judge would clear the warrant." Wow! Who wouldn't want to do that when faced with the possibility of having to go to a jail and be arrested and processed? He made it sound like he was on my side and doing me a favor. The caller stated that the bail amount was $2,800. He offered to let me pay it electronically over the phone or bring it in person to the police department the same day in cash. However, he warned that if I chose to show up in person, there was a risk I could be arrested on the spot and held until the hearing. His manipulative tactic was clearly aimed at pushing me toward making an electronic payment. The fact that he stated I could bring it down to the police department was designed to convince me this situation was real. At this point, I began to feel suspicious and alarmed. I asked for more details, specifically who I should pay, where I should go, and how the process would work. He provided an officer's name and the address of the police department. But then there was a problem. I had recently moved out of state, and I told him it would be impossible for me to come in person that day. He seemed momentarily caught off guard, but quickly adapted, saying he'd speak to a supervisor and call me back. 10 minutes later, the caller reached out again. This time, he claimed that arrangements had been made for me to go to my local police department, where my payment could be processed and sent to the originating department. He continued to press me to pay the bail electronically to avoid the hassle. By now, I was realizing this was potentially a scam. I didn't have a local police department, I had a sheriff's department. Law enforcement doesn't make that mistake. My mind was racing, trying to think through all the options and implications. Something felt off. To buy myself some time and verify the caller's authenticity, I asked for his name and badge number, then ended the call. I immediately called the National City Police Department directly, using the number I found on their website. During that call, my worst suspicions were confirmed. It was a scam. The police dispatcher on the phone told me they had received numerous reports of similar calls. He reassured me that police departments never ask for money over the phone and that it's impossible to book yourself remotely to avoid arrest. After sharing this experience with my colleagues, I discovered that others had also been targeted by similar scams. One colleague had even gone so far as to hire an attorney, withdraw cash, and head to the police department before realizing it was a scam. This scam was not only sophisticated but widespread, preying on the good intentions and sense of duty of professionals like us. You might wonder, how could a seasoned professional fall for something like this? The truth is, the scam was so sophisticated it could trick even those of us with experience in psychology and critical thinking. The details provided by the caller, the authoritative voice, and the fact that the caller ID displayed police all worked together to create a scenario that felt legitimate and urgent. I'm sharing this story to warn all of you. If you ever receive a strange call like this, don't engage. Hang up immediately and report the incident to your local police department. Scammers are becoming increasingly clever, targeting professionals with carefully crafted scenarios. It's up to us to stay vigilant, protect ourselves, and safeguard our practices from falling victim to these schemes. If you have experienced other scams with different types of scenarios, please share them. We need to know what the scams are so we can stay ahead of the scammers. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope it helps you to avoid a distressing or costly situation. By staying informed and cautious, we can defend ourselves against these sophisticated scams. Share this information with your colleagues, and let's work together to protect one another from these deceptive tactics. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. Let's stay vigilant, stay safe, and continue the important work we do, free from the fear of these scams.